Let's start going over Srimad Bhagavatam with the first canto, chapter 13 to 19. Goloka Vrindavana is said to be the original spiritual planet. It's lotus-like, and it's supposed to be the abode of the supreme original personality of God. And it puts off the Brahmajyoti, which is the goal of those who try to think of the divine as not having attributes. And within that effulgence are too many even spiritual worlds for us to count. And there are material planets within each of those spiritual worlds. And there, God is known as Narayana, and the planets are known as Vaikunthas. And sometimes the spiritual cloud, when you get into that trance and those colors flow, that which it covers is called the Mahat Tattva. And then there, God is known as Mahavishnu. And that's within the causal ocean, the Kranajala. God is present there beyond effort in the causal ocean. But God is not the causal ocean. And each universe is upon, as spoken elsewhere in a couple programs, the Sesha. And then from that is as a lotus. And the lotus, on that, we know God is Brahma. And then all the various shapes and terms and lower worldly sort of planets and suns are known there. And properly placed within each will be the suns. And there's millions and billions of suns in each of the universes. But we're supposed to go beyond these material universes to the Brahmajyoti, which has a light that transcends our physical sorts of light. And every human being has at least enough to attain towards that. In 1937, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja died. But by then he ordered his initiated for 4 years, formally, disciple Srila Prabhupada to go out in the world and spread the Krishna consciousness movement in the world. And he only had several dollars and some books and some symbols back in 1965, but Prabhupada considered it his mission, so that's why we're ending up with these things here. There's an illustration of him in some orange colors. Well, I mean, a photo, and he was still alive when the first edition of the first 10 cantos was released. In Islam, the clothes dyed with saffron aren't allowed, but Vaishnavas don't have that rule. There's probably a painting that talks about how we're supposed to remember that God wishes us well, despite all these bad things going on in the world. And we're sort of shown the goal of what we go through. I mean, there's more to that painting that people can say, but that's what it looks like to me, right? And so we have the divine strength, and sometimes that strength is in using weapons. And sometimes we need to prove ourselves to the people of this world so that we may obtain things. Sometimes the demons come in human form. And no matter what our personal developments and choices and stuff are, there's sort of a gratitude in God giving the ability that we could carry out those things. And another thing is that I don't know if it's generally okay anymore, but you can joke around. Now, in the picture of the spiritual sky, we have 24 names of God. And I think I've tracked all these down to referring to what could have been a person. And, well, that doesn't mean that we don't have some sort of, that it's actually a word for God, because some of these we have servant of and that sort of stuff. So, Nrsimha, Adoksaja, Apendra, Madhusudana, Purushottama, Damodara, Vamana, Krishna, Padmanasha, Hrishikesha, Padmanabha, Anavrudha, Trivikrama, Vishnumurti, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Govinda, Vasudeva, Madhava, Sridhara, Narayana, Hari, Achyuta, Keshava, Janardana is the list that pertains to the International Society of Krishna Consciousness Movement. Maharaja Yudhishthira was said to approach the north, so the Hindu Kush Himalayan, according to the tradition of his ancestors. Maharaja Parikshit was petitioned by Kali to be in places where the four pillars of sinful life were: the gambling, intoxication, unlawful sexual intercourse, and unlawful killing take place. And by unlawful, I mean spiritually. Because in today's society, there's outlets for all of those. And so there's extraordinary circumstances where individuals will walk on water and all sorts of things. It's important to know what planes those happen on, but whether it's the scriptures or whether it's some spiritual experience, it's important to listen to the divine sound and distinguish what are the transcendental activities. And again, some of them are directly in submission. On my channel logo, we have that silver and red logo. And that's the stage of absolute righteousness. So completely in those activities, even though you have a material aspect, right? And the consciousness, the undefiled consciousness, is the black symbol. King Parikshit rewarded a sage by giving him a dead snake. And that sounds like an odd reward. I guess we'll get to that later. Because, yeah, he dangles this. Well, it being dead is important to notice. Maybe it's somebody comes sneaking up on you with a dead snake. You probably think it's a live snake, right? And sometimes curses do happen, and they do stick, and people kind of realize this and start speaking of it. That's not always the best approach, but if you turn and repent of being somebody who deserved it, maybe that's going to do something different. And the light beings, you don't have to worship the light beings for them to do the good things for individuals that, they are capable of. They will shower down the scent or the sight or whatever might be needed. Or whatever might be useful, you could say. And we might want to also look at the Amarakosa Sanskrit dictionary, the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Samhita, the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, the Barhad Vaishnava Tantra, the Barhan Naradiya Purana, the Chaitanya Bhagavata, the Chaitanya Chartamrita. I didn't know there was a Bhagavata for Chaitanya, but the Chandogya Upanishad, the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya, the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, the Hari Vamsa, the Isopanishad, the Katha Upanishad, the Kaumada Dictionary, the Kana Upanishad, the Linga Purana, the Mahabharata, the Manu Samhita, the Markandeya Purana, the Matsya Purana, the Narada Bhakti Sutra, the Narada Pancharatra, the Narasimha Purana, the Padma Purana, the Ramayana, the Sabdoksa Sanskrit Dictionary, the Skanda Purana, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavata Purana as a whole, not just these 10 chapters here, the Vamana Purana, the Vayavya Tantra, the Vedanta Sutra, the Vedas, and I presume they mean the 4 Vedas, even though there's talk about 7 of them, and I don't know what it said that they found the 5th Veda, going back just as far manuscript-wise as the other ones. The Vishnu Dharmatara, the Vishnu Purana, the Visva Prabhasa Sanskrit Dictionary, and so I don't think we need to go into all the words here, but I am going to try to give a stripped down rendering of this text here. And the Asvamedha Yajnas is something one may want to look into because of the thought that Hinduism is vegetarian and they don't do animal sacrifices and stuff. It's like they do. And the main impulse isn't that it's not allowed in any main type. It's that people aren't qualified. And a lot of that is because some of the lines of the tradition did die off. And it's important to say things, what they mean every time. Like Hrishiketsa is the master of senses, and you won't always see that one translated. Like anything that's said to be a name of God, they're generally just going to refer you to, what's this name of Krishna. But I think it's important to let us know every time when that sort of thing's going on. And that evil and ignorance always have to be dealt with on some level